Hey guys, welcome to today's reading. This one is all about who is thinking of you. So, who has had you on their mind? Who has been ruminating about you? Who have you been running through their head all the time? We're going to be getting into all of it. And today we have a selection of different crystals for you to choose from. So, if you're new to this channel, welcome. I'm so happy to have you. Basically, you're going to see which of these crystals is sticking out to you, calling your name, drawing your attention in towards it. And then as soon as you make up your mind, just scroll down to the timestamps in the comments and the description and jump right into your pile. By the way, if you like how I read tarot and you want to see more of it, then be sure to head to my Patreon where I post all my additional readings. There are over 100 exclusive readings you'll only find on Patreon, and you also get early and ad-free access to all my YouTube videos. I just posted a reading all about your karma and the progress you're making in working through that karma and your spiritual progress in general. So it's a very deep, intense reading, but there is so much content to choose from over on Patreon. Like I said, over 100 different readings, so all kinds of topics, and you get to be the first to watch my YouTube videos. So if that sounds good, then head to the link underneath the timestamps in the comments and the description and join me on Patreon. Also, if you're interested in booking a private session with me, you can do that at my website, briarrosetarot.com. Whether you're looking for a quick half-hour reading, a full hour-length reading, whether you want it to be focused on tarot, astrology, open channeling, a combination, whether you would like it to be a live one-on-one session or pre-recorded in advance, you get to really customize your reading so it's the perfect reading for you. If that sounds good, then head to my website, briarrosetarot.com, and the link for that is in my description. So thanks for watching, guys. Now, that's about all I have to say. So if you need more time to decide, you can totally feel free to rewind, pause, and take as much time as you need. But we're going to go ahead and jump into pile one. Hey, pile one, welcome to your reading. So you guys got the Prince of Swords, the Prince of Cups, the High Priestess, the Lord, and the Nine of Pentacles. So this to me is feeling like a very powerful, probably man. Although if you are a man who's interested in dating women, this could be a woman who's more aligned with her masculine energy. But to me, it's giving like powerful masculine energy, like someone who's very used to getting what they want, someone who's used to maybe having their way. This person may consider themselves very charismatic with the Prince of Swords and the Prince of Cups. And I feel like what's coming through is like this disbelief of like, how did I not win? How did I not get my way? You know, like, how is that possible? And I feel like it almost infuriates this person because it feels like you left or walked away with your dignity. Like, you didn't beg, you didn't cry, you didn't scream. You just kind of like went on your way. And to a certain extent, I think you thrived, or you just like moved on with your life and were very strong and determined about that. And what I'm getting is this person is very shocked. Like, I don't think they thought it was possible. And they're kind of like, they really thought you were going to come crawling back. Like, I really think they thought that sooner or later you weren't going to be able to resist them. And I feel like they wanted to reach out with the Prince of Swords, the Prince of Cups. They probably wanted to reach out to you, but I do feel like their pride was holding them back. And a part of them was just like too aware of what you would think. It's almost like this person, they didn't want to admit to you, and they didn't even want to admit to themselves the power you have over them, because that makes them very uncomfortable. They hate to admit when they're not the one calling all the shots or the one in the driver's seat. They hate to admit when someone else has some power or someone is operating in their own way. Like, I feel like deep down this person is a little insecure, and it's like they need to feel like they are the one in control. They need to feel like they are steering the ship. They're calling the shots. They're saying what's going on. And I feel like when you kind of like didn't go along with the program, it was just a very, I feel like this person was like, you know what, I'm going to make them go along with the program. I am not going to like give in to them. And again, it feels like it turned into a power struggle, like an ego thing for this person where they just literally can't stand it, can't take it that you are your own independent person with your own independent feelings and emotions. Like, I think they kind of thought they could like force you into submission here by like, you know, by just making you miserable, or like, you'll see how you're going to suffer without me and you're going to be crying and begging me back. And I feel like you were just like, no, actually I'm not, and I'm focusing on myself and I'm living on my best life. And I feel like this person, you know, they're very surprised by that. And it's really like, especially if a lot of time has passed or several months have passed, this person, I feel like they're like, it's starting to dawn on them of like, oh my gosh, they're not coming back, or that's not going to work. Because I feel like for the longest time, they really thought that eventually you were going to have to come back and you weren't going to have a choice and they were going to win in the end. And that's really what they wanted. Like, they like to feel, like I said, in the driver's seat. They like to feel like the one who is controlling things. And that's very important to them. I feel like underpinning it, there's a little insecurity. There's a little feeling of like not being good enough. And it's almost like you triggered that because you're so independent, or you're so, I mean, you're kind of in many ways like a dazzler, pile one. Like, you do your own thing. You're successful. You're happy. You're upbeat. You live your life for yourself. And I feel like this person just couldn't stand that. Like, in a way, things that they should have been happy about for you, things that should have made them like proud of you or excited for you, where it's like, wow, this person is so independent, or they're doing well, or they have so many people who like them. I'm so happy for them. Instead, I feel like it did the opposite. It triggered them and made them freak out. It made them panic. It made them feel like, hey, like this isn't cool. And it feels like this person, you know, some of them may have been argumentative. Some of them may have really gotten under your skin at the time, or really like, it's almost like you couldn't do anything right, or you're like, why are you mad? Like, I didn't do anything bad. But I feel like, again, this person was threatened by your autonomy. They were threatened by your confidence. It's almost like they need you to be small so they can feel big. They need you to be scared so they can feel brave. You know, they need you to be sad and vulnerable. And if you had come to them and said like, I'm just so wrong, and I'm just so sorry, and that was probably their fantasy. Their dream was to have you come crawling back and like desperate for them, you know? And in retrospect, you know, this doesn't have to be romantic. I could see this being like an abusive manager even, or not necessarily gendered. It just seems like someone who is very proud, someone who is very, I don't want to say narcissistic because that word gets thrown around a lot, but I could definitely see that. That word is coming to my mind. And I feel like there's a part of them that they felt very vulnerable around you and that triggered them. Or maybe they felt jealous. A lot of it, what I'm seeing is like other people's reactions to you, other people being impressed by you, other people being like, wow, look at pile one, they're awesome. And again, instead of this person being like, yeah, they really are, aren't they? I'm so lucky to have them in my life in whatever capacity. They were triggered by that. They were annoyed by that. They would get in their feelings about that. They would take that personally and like get emotional about it, even though it had nothing to do with them. So yeah, I feel like this person is very, it's almost like they're childish, or they're just so insecure, but they refuse to admit that that's what it is. They may say, no, I'm so proud and that's why I won't tolerate this. But what it is insecurity. And I feel like there was a fear that you were outshining them. There was a fear that you could thrive on your own. And I feel like that's where this person got like shook. You know, you are I'm getting very independent vibes from you, pile one. Like, I feel like you're, you know, I'm hearing that theme song to Mary Tyler Moore where it's like, you're going to make it after all. And I'm seeing her throwing her hat in the air. Like, I feel like you have that optimistic vibe, or this kind of can-do spirit, or this like, okay, on to the next. And I feel like a lot of people genuinely like you and enjoy you. And this person, it's almost like they have a darker energy, but they wish they had your energy. They wish they had your brightness and your spark of light. And they don't know how to feel comfortable in its presence. Because instead of just taking it for what it is, like, oh my God, good for this person. They have a beautiful spark of light. Or good for this person. They're so funny and everyone laughs at their jokes and that's awesome. And they have a great energy and I love being around it. Or good for them. They're beautiful. They're stunning. And like, I love that for them. They're going to, you know, they're so lucky to have that beautiful face and that gorgeous body or whatever it is. They took it so personally. They would end up comparing themselves and getting like mad at you because they don't have the same looks, or because your looks created a threat for them, you know, because it's like, well, they can move on from me. They don't need me. And I feel like I need them. So yeah, I feel like it was just very immature, very self-centered. And I feel like this person is coming through as, yeah, like I feel like they just thought you were always going to be there waiting. They thought you were always going to be nearby. With the high priestess as well, it may have even just been on the astral plane. If you have cut this person off on the astral plane or put up some boundaries on the astral plane, that could be something they're not happy about. If they have sensed like you put an energetic wall up, yeah, that could be something that really bothers them, because I feel like they're very entitled. They feel like they should just have access to you just because whenever they want, they should get access. And it's almost like you've committed a crime by withholding that access to them or having boundaries. They view that as like enemy behavior, like, oh wow, so you're attacking me now. And I feel like they're very entitled in relationships. If you were in a romantic relationship with this person, I wouldn't be surprised if they were, like I said, entitled and kind of like expecting you to just follow their every whim. It seems like they could sometimes be volatile or kind of childish in their reactions. Like if you said, you know, no, I don't want to eat Mexican food tonight, I want Chinese, they would like maybe get so mad about something so simple, you know, like you were expected to do things their way, even with the tiniest thing that is just a matter of taste or what you're craving. I feel like they would, you know, get mad about it, get emotional, get angry. Like there's a very demanding energy here. And I feel like they really wanted your energy, you know? So let me get into these cards. This deck is really sticking out to me. So who is thinking of pile one? Who is thinking of pile number one, Spirit? Financial health. If you guys are doing well financially, this person can't believe it. If you were financially dependent on them, they can't believe it. They thought you were going to come crawling back, and they may have tried to use money to control you, or they may be seeing you financially thrive and being like, how did that happen? What are they doing? I feel like they think about your finances. They wonder what's going on here. You know, where are they getting this money from? And it does bother them. Again, I feel like there's an energy of them, you know, it's almost like they needed to keep you in their back pocket, or they needed to feel like you were small. They needed to feel like you were kind of stuck with them. So if you were independent financially, or you were doing well, or you were having a lot of success, that just doesn't sit well with this person. You know, they are needing you to be dependent or vulnerable in some way. They are needing to feel like you're stuck with them and you don't have other options. And when you do exude independence and freedom, I feel like that's when this person is like, I don't know what value I could add, because honestly, I am an entitled. Like on a deep level, they know that they're not always pleasant to be around. They know that as much as they may put up a mask for a little while, they can't put it up for long. And there's a part of them that feels like you should have been sitting around waiting, or you should have come crawling back, or it's almost like, how dare you type energy. Like, how dare you make your own money? How dare you have this success? You should be suffering. You deserve to be suffering. And I feel like they're very shocked by that. Like any success you have, if you're posting on your Instagram and, you know, you're going places, you're going out, you're having fun, that is very like, wow, I can't believe this from this person. So we got fertility and good luck. So there's a very strong Sagittarius energy around you guys. And this one is compassion. One thing they could never understand is your compassion. They could never understand how open, wide open energetically you are, and how sweet and kind and loving you are. And this has this beautiful effect on other people. Like I said, I feel like you have a very magical energy. People just like you. People are just drawn to you. People feel like they can open up to you and connect with you, and like they can tell you stuff, or you know, they can feel vulnerable around you, they can feel safe around you. And that's something I feel like this person has never understood. Or maybe they're just so used to being in the limelight, they feel like, hey, that should be me, you know. And I feel like they know that you have this magical energy. They know that other people are drawn to you. And like I said, that's kind of what they can't stand about it, is like, wait a minute, that energy was supposed to be mine. And that's why they got triggered by it, even though they should have been excited for you, even though they should have been like, I'm so glad that so many people like you, that you have this effect on people, that you're so charming. I'm so lucky to have you in my life. I feel like they just wanted that energy all for themselves. And it's almost like things could work between y'all when you were focusing exclusively on them, pouring that love out on them. Totally 100%. But as soon as you were having to focus on other things, focus on other people, focus on yourself, keep that energy to yourself, that's when this person would get triggered. And I do feel like there's also a vibe of you guys maybe being energetically depleted in your time with them. Maybe when you were around them, you would feel like, oh my God, I'm so tired. Or I woke up, I slept for, 8 hours or 9 hours, or 10 hours, but I'm just exhausted and I just can't get a good night's sleep. And like, what is going on? Or I sleep, but I feel like I could sleep for 16 hours. I feel like I could sleep for like 2 days and just not get out of bed. Or maybe on your weekends, you just would veg out in bed and be like completely like laying on the couch, just watching TV or watching YouTube or watching movies and like not budging, and then being like, what is happening? Like, why am I feeling this way? Why do I feel so exhausted? And a lot of that was because I think this person, again, the energy is at play. They're kind of coasting, they're kind of leeching off your energy. And I feel like they thought you were supposed to be there. And it's funny because I feel like at times when you would get a spark of like motivation or brightness or being like, yeah, let's go here, let's do that, like ready to expand, optimistic. Again, I feel like this person would sometimes get triggered by that. They would sometimes feel more comfortable when you were in that negative, pessimistic place. When you were feeling tired and exhausted, that's when they were like, perfect. This is what I want. This is exactly what I'm comfortable with. Because again, they're threatened by your power and they don't understand why you keep having good things happen to you, because they feel like you don't deserve that because you left them or you weren't willing to give them your energy in the way they wanted, and they take that as almost like a crime, like you committed something so bad against them, so they may literally feel wronged and feel like you have bad karma or you treated them badly. I feel like they do a lot of projection, but it's funny, if they tried to distract themselves with others, if they tried to move on and focus on other people, like they are still not able to really fully plug into these other people. And no matter what happens, they're not going to be as contented or as satisfied with those other people, because it's like you're the real special one, you're the real sparkler, and you have this dazzle. It's reminding me of the song Bejeweled by Taylor Swift. That's coming to my mind. And when she's like, I can still make the whole room shimmer. And that's actually a really good song for this dynamic of being in a relationship with someone. Because it seems like Taylor has been in certain relationships where it's like she's not really allowed to be fully like Taylor Swift. And I can only imagine how intimidating that is to be around someone like that in real life. But still, it's like if you're dating someone, you should want them to be their best. You shouldn't want them to just hide away or not feel comfortable with them doing their thing, or just don't date that person. But I feel like there's that vibe with you of like someone who likes you for those things, but then at the same time, they're kind of like, no, stay quiet. No, stay in the back room. No, don't dress up. No, I don't want to see you shining that bright. So let me get into these cards for you. Pile number 1. So who is thinking of pile 1, Spirit? Who is thinking of pile 1? Angels of the 7 chakras. I don't know if some of you guys did a cord cutting ritual with this person, or you have just made a really active intention to not let them touch you on the astral plane, not allow their energy in, but it feels like you cut some cords to your chakras. Maybe you were very energetically tied to this person and you put up boundaries, but it really does feel like part of you just said, absolutely not, no more. This ain't gonna work, we're done with that. And you stopped allowing them to access you in the same way. You took your energy back and you started being more mindful about that. I feel like there's an energetic block that happened, which has been like almost a double whammy. Like it's almost like you left this person twice. The first time physically, the second time energetically. And I feel like they've been really hit by the energetic leaving, because there was a part of you that I feel like for a long time was tied to them, did think of them, maybe still would ruminate about them or dream of them or whatever. And now it's like you're just done. You're just like, okay, bye, sayonara. And you're not really spending your energy worrying about them anymore. And I feel like that kind of drives this person crazy, low key. Like they thought you were always going to be around. They thought you were always going to be there waiting. And, even if you moved on, even if you didn't text them, they could still feel your energy thinking of them. Whereas I feel like you have started really focusing on your own life and your own expansion and your own growth. And you are entering into this beautiful period of optimism and joy and happiness and fulfillment. So it's like you don't really care anymore. You don't have space for them anymore. And you're not wasting your energy dreaming or thinking of them anymore. Let me get into some more cards. Pile number 1. Who is thinking of pile 1? Who is thinking of pile 1? Sensitivity and strength, tapping the forces within. Let's see. This is the healing heart, love, acceptance, romance. Let's get one more card. Personal guide, guardian angel, spirit family. So if you guys have moved on to a different romantic relationship, or if this was like a coworker, a boss, maybe you have started focusing on a different job, but I feel like they are they're probably aware of this other person, and that really bothers them. They do not like this idea of you thriving and just focusing on yourself and having this great life. And again, I feel like they almost feel like, hey, if you left me, you deserve to suffer. You deserve to be alone. You deserve to be waiting. You deserve to be begging for me. You're supposed to be missing me. And I feel like if you've found a lot of happiness, they may also be able to feel that through the energetic connection. And it doesn't, I feel like there was just this super strong expectation that you were going to come back sooner or later, and that there was a part of you that was always going to be connected to them, and that they, on some level, you needed them. And maybe you believed that at one point. Maybe they made you believe that like, I can't do this on my own. I need this person. I'm not strong enough. I'm not tough enough. I feel like you have this beautiful, vulnerable side. It's interesting you got sensitivity and strength, because that sums it up really well. Like, you are very sensitive. So there was maybe a part of you that thought, I'm not strong and I can't handle this. And, I need this other person to be strong for me. And instead, I feel like what you've learned is you're actually stronger than you ever realized. And you don't actually need anyone. And just because you are sensitive doesn't mean you can't stand on your own 2 feet, or doesn't mean you can't get through the hard times. And that was not the lesson this person wanted you to learn. They wanted you sad. They wanted you down bad and begging and, distraught and upset. And I feel like instead you found your own personal power and started seeking out more authentic relationships with people who respect you. Let me get into some astro dice for you, pile number 1. Let's see. What's the astrological energy at play for pile 1? Wow. So this could be a destiny moment. We got the North Node. We got Leo. We got the 3rd house, aka Gemini. So it's interesting because the nodes really talk about destiny, what we're leaving behind from past lives, what we're stepping into in this life. And so, a lot of times we have to unlearn certain lessons or dynamics from past lifetimes. And maybe in other lifetimes, you did have to be dependent on someone financially, especially if you have a South Node in like the 8th house, that can show financial dependence, or someone else called the shots or had more power over you. But you may, or maybe you had a 7th house South Node and your relationship was super important to you in a past life. And now this lifetime, maybe in the, North Node in the 2nd house or the 1st house or whatever, there's different placements that could embody this energy. But where it's like, okay, I got to learn to stand on my own 2 feet. And that may have felt very scary for you, because often the things in our South Node show what we're more comfortable with, even if it's dysfunctional, even if it's actually bad for us. We can feel like, okay, this is home. This is familiar. I know this dynamic because we lived it out in our previous lifetime. And then the North Node can feel very unfamiliar and scary, even if it's much more positive. And I feel like in a way, you had to leave this dynamic behind. You had to really change how you like related to this or what you were willing to tolerate. Because again, in past lifetimes, I feel like this would have been maybe something you just had to deal with or it was just familiar to you. So maybe it took a while for you to kind of work up that courage or to realize this is not functional. This is not working for me. I don't like this. I deserve better. And there's more possibilities. Like, I don't have to tolerate this. I can be treated in this way. I don't have to stick around in this janky situation. So I feel like you decided to leave, but it was difficult. And it was like changing energetic lines that were deeply grooved inside of you, you know, like this was a deep part of your soul that you had to kind of like have the bravery to step away from. And this person may have known it and thought, oh, they're not going to be capable of that, you know. It also makes sense we got Leo, because I keep seeing this bright shining light around you guys. Of course, Leo's ruled by the sun, and Leos can often be the center of attention or just have that fun, bubbly, exciting energy that people just are drawn to. Life of the party. They rule the fifth house of like fun hobbies, you know, performance, creativity. So a Leo can often have that just dynamic vibe that like people are just drawn to and people notice and they're the center of attention whether they want it or not. So I feel like there was that vibe, whatever placements you have, of like, I don't like how this person sparkles and shines, and they, you know, it's like how the sun is unmistakable. If it's a cloudy day, you feel the absence of the sun. If it's a bright day, you notice the sun. The sun doesn't hide like the moon. It's just out there. And I feel like you have that vibe. Like you can be eye-catching. You can be someone that people just notice, someone that people are drawn to, the way people will lay out in the sun and tan because they miss the sun all winter, you know, and they just crave that presence. They crave that bright light. I feel like you give off that vibe, and this person just felt like they couldn't handle it, you know. Finally, we have the third house, Gemini. Gemini energy is very curious. It's always learning new things. It's very dynamic. It's also on that axis with Sagittarius, but third house is more short-term or local travel. I feel like for you guys, again, you really are exuding this vibe of curiosity, learning, growth, being open to new things, not staying in your same lane or box that you've been in, and being willing to challenge yourself and being willing to try different things. And you've shown yourself to be so adaptable in that way. Gemini energy really embodies. And, you know, I feel like this person just wasn't expecting that. They weren't expecting you to be able to handle yourself. They weren't expecting you to be able to like navigate this and stand on your own 2 feet. They really thought you were going to just get taken out by it. And instead, I feel like you have just shown, you have just, you know, blown them away and like focused on yourself and glowed up. And they definitely can't believe it. Like, I feel like they're definitely like trying to even like process, like, wait, what just happened? How did this work? I'm seeing someone doing like formulas on a chalkboard and trying to like calculate it, because I feel like they're just racking their brain like, hold up, this was not the plan, and how exactly did this happen? So yeah, this is the person who is thinking of you, pile one. That is what I have for you. I really hope it resonates, guys. If it does and you want to see more of my content, then be sure to head to my Patreon, where I post all my additional readings. There are over 100 exclusive readings you'll only find on Patreon, and you also get early and ad-free access to all my YouTube videos. By the way, if you like how I read this tarot, then you can make sure to give this reading a like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. That really helps the channel. But like I was saying about Patreon, I just posted readings about what kind of karma you've overcome in past lifetimes, as well as the spiritual work you're completing or where you are in your spiritual mission. But there's so many different topics to choose from. I honestly can't even keep track of all the readings I post over there, because I post new ones all the time. And like I said, you always get to be the first to see my YouTube videos. So if that sounds good to you, then head to the link underneath the timestamps in the comments in the description and join me on Patreon. Also, if you're interested in booking a private session with me, you can do that at my website, briarrosetarot.com, whether you're looking for a quick half-hour reading, a full hour-length reading, whether you want it to be pre-recorded live, whether you want it to be focused on tarot, astrology, just open channeling, a combination. You get to really customize your time with me, so it's the perfect session for you. If that sounds good, then head to my website, briarrosetarot.com. So thank you, and the link for that is in my description, by the way. So thanks for watching, guys. I am sending you so much love. I will be back again very soon for another reading. So take care, guys, and I will see you soon. Bye. Hey, Pile 2. Welcome to your reading. So you guys got the Princess of Swords, the Nine of Swords, the King of Pentacles, the Seven of Swords, and the Wheel. So this is an interesting combination of energies because I'm actually getting like two energies coming through, and the first one is kind of like a prominent female energy. I could see this being like a sister or an old friend that you haven't talked to in a while that may have felt like a sister at one time. It feels like maybe a woman who I feel like is just very sad and feels like she's really missing you. Could even be like a mom, and kind of like depressed about it, more of a bitter energy or just a sad energy, less angry. The other energy that's coming through, I do feel like, is a masculine energy. And maybe that is the King of Pentacles. Now that I see the Princess of Swords, King of Pentacles, that makes a lot of sense because this is a man, and I could see him being maybe controlling about money or just very prideful, almost someone that is convinced that like he should be the one in power, he should be the one in control. But the first energy that's coming through really strong is, again, that feminine energy. And I feel like she is just very wistful, like possibly thinking about things with a lot of regret or almost like processing things. And what I'm hearing as a channeled message is this woman is saying that when you guys first got into separation or whatever, she didn't process things and she didn't almost have the capability to really process what was going on and kind of really be honest with herself. Like I feel like in a way she was coping or telling herself, stories, because I feel like in a way what I'm getting is a vibe of like, I don't want to deal with it. Like it's almost like I feel like this feminine thought that you were just gonna eventually come back because you had nothing else to do. Or listen, if I just like don't engage, then they're just gonna deal with it. They're just gonna get over it. I'm just gonna ignore. And I feel like they kind of wanted to block out a lot of other things. Maybe you were in an unhealthy dynamic in some way, or you were a part of a group that had an unhealthy dynamic in some way, or a family that had an unhealthy dynamic, whatever the case may be. And I feel like this feminine was kind of comfortable in that. Like she didn't really want things to change a lot. So that's why she was kind of like, hey, just, I'm not going to deal with this. I don't want to change anything. I don't want to rock the boat. She may have even been scared, is what I'm hearing, of like what the consequences would be if she were to stand up and say something or take your side. So she may have let the ball drop and kind of like not taken your side. And she is coming through as someone that I feel like it's taken a while to almost to let that stubbornness go and to finally budge, because I do feel like at first this feminine was very determined to like not admit things, not be honest about things, and just very like stuck in their ways, like just very, no way, you're wrong, you're being crazy, you're overblowing this, and I'm not gonna engage. And now I feel like this feminine is saying, okay, you're right. And it's almost taken a really long time to get there. It's taken a really long time to be willing to admit, because I feel like also this feminine, I don't want to say she's more fragile than you, but it's almost like she couldn't be honest and look things straight in the eye. She couldn't like say, I feel like there's also a sense of this feminine being very afraid of her own failures and maybe knowing that she let you down and feeling guilt about that or feeling pain about that, and that just being very uncomfortable for this feminine. So she doesn't like to do it. So she just likes to be kind of into Lulu mode and kind of just, we're just going to ignore it and pretend everything's fine, and that's just how we're going to deal with it. And it's almost like you stopped being willing to engage with that, and this feminine was like, excuse me, and thought, well, I'll just ice them out and eventually they're going to come crawling back. And I feel like instead you didn't, and that is what has forced this feminine to really reflect and to start thinking about things you said or things you didn't say, or just like, maybe pile number 2 was right. And it's made the feminine actually do a lot of soul growth, is what I'm seeing. Like the feminine has a really improved herself as a result of this. And, if this resonates as a masculine in your life, it could be a masculine. It's giving me kind of a gentler energy, or I feel like this feminine or whatever it is, this person has an energy of like, I don't want to fight. I don't want to get mad. I don't want to I don't want to be beefing with you, you know, and that may be almost like their cop out. Like they may tolerate dysfunctional situations because they say, "Oh, I don't want to be negative or I don't want to fight or I don't want an argument." And you may be more of a fighter or more willing to stand up and say like, "I don't want to fight either, but we have to deal with this and this is dysfunctional or I'm not going to get treated this way." And I feel like this feminine almost like took that personally or didn't know how to handle it. They may easily get overwhelmed. They may get like anxiety or just feel very trapped or feel like stuck and don't know how to react, don't know what to say, don't know kind of how to just fix things. So instead they just stay with it. They just kind of like stay stuck in the stagnancy, you know. I feel like for them, they are very aware of almost like their own vulnerability. Again, if this person has a dependence on the group or a dependence on someone else, it could even be like this could be a mom and this is the dad, or a sister and this is the dad. And maybe the feminine is dependent on the masculine because he controls the money. I don't know. Take this reading as it resonates, of course, and leave the rest as always. But I feel like there was a fear that this feminine had of like you rocking the boat, a fear of losing maybe other relationships, and just kind of like shutting up and not standing up for you when she should have. And I feel like the ironic thing is maybe after you left, this feminine is actually having to take more of the brunt of the negative behavior because you're not around to like be that scapegoat anymore. And the feminine, I feel like, has really started processing things and really feeling the weight of missing you. um I could see again, this masculine feels almost like they care less or they're less sad about it. They may be more angry or just very flippant, like, whatever, I don't care. They're coming through as like, why should I have to change? Why should I have to do anything different? I don't think I did anything wrong. I don't care about this. And very like blasé about it, or very just my way or the highway. I'm not adjusting. You may have also, if you resonate more with this masculine, you may have also felt drawn to pile one, in which case I would definitely recommend you watch pile one, because I feel like this energy kind of came through in pile one as well, pretty strongly. So yeah, I might not delve into that as much, but as it comes up, I'll talk about it. But I mean, we did cover some of that in pile one. I feel like this masculine though is very, like I said, blasé about it. Like they are very stubborn and they're very like not even gonna acknowledge, you know what I mean? Not even willing to go there, not even willing to be honest or say like, okay, yeah, I messed up, even to themselves, or even to say, you know, I'm really sad about this, or I'm upset, or I miss this person. I feel like this masculine wouldn't even want to do that. You know, they're very set in their ways. They're very like, I shouldn't have to budge at all. And I feel like they're very exhausting to deal with. Even as I tap into their energy, I'm feeling tired. And I can only imagine how tired you were when you actually had to deal with it, because it feels like there's no changing them. There's almost no hope. And I feel like that's what you may have realized when you left this masculine, is like, why am I trying to fix this? Because this isn't going to fix. It feels like whatever this situation was, this masculine could even be representative of, like I said, a larger group or something. But it feels like you had to really reconcile that with yourself of like, there's no way this is going to change. And maybe that's why you were so willing to leave and you were just like, I'm done. Because I feel like this energy is just so fixed and unchanging and just so set in their own ways and just so refusing to move or change or consider or even slightly adjust themselves to you. And instead it feels like they expected you to completely adjust yourself to them. And I do feel like, I don't know, there may be a connection with this feminine where the feminine was like, okay, I'll adjust to this person. But now they may be seeing you thrive, you do well, you focus on yourself, and realizing kind of what they've lost out on, realizing like, this was a high price to pay because I didn't really get what I wanted out of it. I didn't really, you know, maybe they did think, oh, this masculine will change one day, or this situation is going to change, or pile number two is overreacting. It's not that serious. It's not that deep. Like, it's not that bad. And now they realize it is that bad and it's never changing. And this is like how it's just always going to be. So, do you really want to be in this? And I feel like that has really caused this person, this feminine, to go through kind of like a crisis or go through a real unpacking of, do I want to be in this situation? It's almost like your blinders came off way before theirs. You were always able to see the situation as it really was, but it took this other energy a while to start seeing it accurately. And now that they have, I feel a deep sense of loss. They feel very sad about like, I really missed out on something, and I don't think I should have handled it that way. And that was kind of a big mistake. Let me get into some of these cards for pile number 2. So, who is thinking of pile 2, Spirit? Who is thinking of pile 2? So, we got protection. Animals. Fertility. Okay. Let's get one final card for you, pile 2. Forgiveness. Wow, that's beautiful, because it does feel like this feminine has, if there was ever any anger, forgiven you for whatever went down. If they ever were mad about something, they have moved past that. And I feel like they kind of are seeking out forgiveness as well, because they're starting to acknowledge their part in things, or that they were wrong. And I feel like, again, that took them a while to say, because for the longest time, I feel like they were just like, hey, I don't have anything to apologize for, and you're the one who's overreacting. And they did a lot of blaming you. They did a lot of like putting it on you, like you were the problem. And I'm hearing that Ava Max song, Maybe You're the Problem. And now I feel like they're starting to acknowledge, hey, I've played a part in this. And it wasn't like pile number 2 was just so crazy and dysfunctional or whatever. Maybe that was the narrative they told themselves because that was easier. And I really do feel like there's this sense of, I didn't stand up for what's right, or I let the ball drop. There's a strong sense of guilt coming in. There's a strong sense of like, when things were tough, I messed up. I always think that's a very bitter feeling to have. It's almost like if you've ever had a friendship ice out, and maybe it wasn't really because of a problem you had with that person, it was because of other factors, and the sadness of that, because you're like, no, I really like that person, but maybe I had a friend who said, like, who was beefing with this person, and I didn't stand up for them, or I didn't take their side. And like that feeling of cowardice, or that feeling of letting things fall, or just not working towards something you should have done, I feel like that's one of the most bitter feelings ever, because it's like, at least if it was your choice and you made it and you were like, no, I'm done, then you can have that resolution. But if you just dropped the ball and didn't step up, and you messed up, that's really sad, because it feels like a failure. And I feel like, in a way, it's taken that feminine a long time to admit that. It's taken them, and if this is resonating you as a masculine or an ex, take it as it resonates. Totally, that's completely fine. To me, I'm getting less of a romantic vibe, but it could be if you're resonating with the energy other than that. I feel like, it just, what's coming through most of all is that feeling of sadness, and feeling like, I didn't step up to the plate. I didn't do what I was supposed to do. I feel like this person misses talking to you. They would like to be able to reach out with the Princess of Swords, aka the Page of Swords. They probably genuinely want to talk to you again and miss chatting with you. I feel like that's a big part of this, is like missing your conversation, missing your presence, missing your perspective, because they're saying you can be very funny, pile 2, and they miss getting to talk to you and just have conversation with you. I feel like they also feel like they did you wrong. They didn't stand up for you in some way that they should have. They didn't put their neck out and really, stand up in the way they should have. And instead, I feel like they kind of froze or panicked, or just like thought the problem would eventually go away. And now they're like, wow, pile number 2 was not lying. And I feel like they really feel that absence. They really feel the missing of you, the not being there. I'm seeing it so funny. Spirit just showed me an egg carton with like one egg missing and how it just kind of sticks out. And like, I don't know, that's a funny metaphor, but I feel like that's kind of how it feels to them. It feels like you really meant it in a way that they weren't expecting. When you said like I'm done, you really were like, no, I'm done, see ya, bye. And I feel like they really weren't expecting that. They really thought it was like the beginning of a negotiation, or like, okay, we'll talk about this, and then I'll hear from you later. And I think they were kind of in shock for the longest time, thinking, wait, they're going to come back though. Or like, okay, so yeah, they're saying they're not going to talk to me anymore, but they don't actually mean that. That's not going to actually happen. And that I feel like has taken them by a huge amount of surprise. And they also, it's taken time for them to admit that you're not a bad person. That animals card is sticking out to me. Maybe animals really love you. But I feel like this person, it's almost like for a while they could tell themselves, like, oh, pile two is being crazy, or pile two is overreacting, or pile two is entitled, or whatever. And I feel like they could kind of like coast off that lie and just say that, hey, I didn't really do anything that bad, and so pile two is just being nuts, and they're kind of a bad person for even doing that, even taking it this far. But now they have to admit, like, maybe they have gotten some blowback from the same situation, so they have to admit to themselves, hey, they're not so crazy, they're not bad, they're not the wrong one, and the other person was probably the wrong one. Let me get into these cards for you, pile two. We want to know about pile two. Who is missing them? Who is missing pile two? Phase entanglement, emotional influence. This is such a powerful image, and it definitely fits this kind of feminine vibe I'm getting, where there may have been a lot of gossip around you. There may have been a lot of betrayal. Like the way that, maybe girls fight less through like actual physical violence and more through like whispering or starting rumors or talking about someone. And I feel like there was a lot of that going on. And maybe that's also where the guilt comes in, is this person acknowledging that they didn't stand up for you or they didn't say what they should have. I feel like what they're saying is almost this energy of like, I just stood by. Like, it's not like they were starting it, or it's not like they were initiating the drama, but they also didn't stand up and do what they should have. And again, I feel like that's where the bitterness comes in, is because it's almost like it wasn't even their idea. They just got caught up in it. They just got, I don't want to say bamboozled, but it's like they just happened to be there and it wasn't what they wanted, but they didn't stand up and say something. They didn't push back. They didn't really take up for you and like draw a line in the sand and say absolutely not. They just kind of like laid back and whatever. And now I feel like they're acknowledging, that was really dumb. And I don't even have an excuse. Like, I feel like they know they dropped the ball. They know they screwed up, and they're very kind of bitter or sad towards themselves and their own behavior. Let's see what other cards we're going to get for pile two. Who is thinking of pile two? Let's see. We got achievements, completion, reward. And this card is kinship, community, your group. And that doesn't surprise me, because I really do feel like there's a lot of community and group dynamics at play here. It's less this person's decision. It's less something that they signed up for or said like, oh yeah, I want to be done with pile two, I'm sick of them. And more something that they were just around, or they were just ushered into, or they didn't really have a say, but they didn't stand up. And they may have also been very afraid of leaving this group. They may have been very worried about what the group would think of them, what the group would say, belonging to this group membership. So when you, I feel like there was also a part of you that was like, I don't care about this group. Like, I'm done. And this group isn't so great anyway. Like, whatever. I don't care if I don't belong to it. And I feel like that was kind of incomprehensible for this person, because there's a part of them that's way more insecure than you are. There's a part of them that just doesn't feel as comfortable sticking out and being on their own, doesn't feel as comfortable just standing on their own 2 feet in the same way that you do. And I feel like they kind of were in awe of you, and now it's taken them time, but now they're like, okay, wow. I really respect the heck out of pile two for doing that. I really can't believe that they were brave enough, and I respect that. Let me get some more cards for you. Pile number 2. Relaxation, peaceful pursuits, happy time. I also feel like this person just has not had fun since you've left. Like they really did kind of take your presence in their life for granted, and they just haven't had that same happiness, that same joy, that same peacefulness that you brought to their life. I feel like you really brought a different energy that was very lighthearted and enjoyable for them. And now it's like, what do I do? Like, I just don't have them around, and things haven't been as good, and I'm kind of missing them. I'm kind of miserable. I'm feeling that absence, and that bothers them, I think. I think they thought, well, whatever, they're kind of replaceable. They're not that important. And now they realize how much value you added to their life and how kind of unmistakable you are, unreplaceable, how distinctive your energy is, that they just can't find it anywhere. Let's get into some astro dice for you. Pile number 2. So we got, wow, I am not surprised at all. I was thinking that we would get some of this energy. We got Mercury, and then we got Gemini, which is ruled by Mercury, and then we also got Sagittarius. So with so much Mercury and Gemini energy, Mercury and Gemini is the communicator, conversation. And this is kind of what I was saying with this relaxation card. I feel like they miss the conversation. I mentioned that. They miss talking to you. They feel like you're an interesting conversationalist, an interesting person to be around with an interesting perspective. And I feel like they, again, feel that absence. They feel that lack, or that you're not around. And I feel like that does bother them. That does make them, kind of wish you were around, wish that they could talk to you, wish that you were in their life so that you could say something. Maybe there's things that happen and they think about like telling you, like something crazy happens at work and their first thought is of you, and like, oh my God, I'm gonna tell Pile 2. They're gonna think it's so funny. They're gonna have the funniest reaction to this. And then it dawns on them like, oh, we don't talk anymore. So I can't tell them this. And yeah, like I don't get to hear their viewpoint. I don't get to hear their reaction or the jokes they would make about this crazy situation. I feel like that really bothers them, is this kind of Mercury energy you gave off, your perspective on things, your thoughts about things, how you view things, your sense of humor, because Mercury placements often have a great sense of humor. Mercury is the prankster, the trickster, has a playful, mischievous energy. So I feel like they are missing that for sure, missing talking to you, and kind of feeling very lonely without someone to talk to on the same level that they could talk to about you. With Sagittarius, it does feel like you're expanding your life, you're growing, you may be traveling, you may be going new places, you may have moved. It feels like you're very much focused on yourself. And again, you have a very bold, unafraid energy, like I'm going to go where I want to go, I'm going to do me, I'm going to live my life, I'm going to try new things, I'm going to go new places, I'm going to try new foods. And I feel like this person just is like, wow, okay, I kind of didn't know you were going to go that far. Sagittarius is very fearless. Sagittarius rules the 9th house of travel and higher education. So it's kind of like that I'm leaving for school feeling, like the bravery of like packing all your stuff and moving into the dorm and you don't know a soul, or the bravery of like flying across the world and staying in a hostel and you don't speak the language, and I feel like that's an energy you give off. Like you have been bold and brave and unafraid, and you've embraced possibility and change. And that's just something I think this person is not capable of. They're still a little scared. They're still stuck in some stagnancy. They are a little bit more terrified to just move on. And I feel like they're inspired by you, but at the same time, again, really wish you were in their life, and starting to realize exactly what they lost and exactly what they took for granted. So that is what I have for you. Pile number 2. If it resonated, guys, it really helps the channel if you like, subscribe, leave a comment, turn on notifications. And if you want to see more of my content, then be sure to check out my Patreon, where I post all my additional readings. There are over 100 exclusive readings you'll only find on Patreon, and you also get early and ad-free access to my YouTube videos. I just posted a reading all about your karma, as well as how you are in working through that, how you are in your spiritual progress. But there's so much content to choose from. I can't even keep track of all the readings I post because new ones go up all the time. And like I said, as soon as you sign up, you also get to be the first to view all my YouTube videos So if that sounds good to you and you would like to join me on Patreon, then head to the link underneath the timestamps in the comments and the description, and I would love to see you there. Also, if you would like to book a private session with me, you can do that at my website, briarrosetarot.com, whether you're looking for a quick half-hour session, a full hour-length session, whether you want it to be a pre-recorded reading or a live one-on-one session, whether you want it to be focused on tarot, astrology, open channeling, or a combination, you get to really customize your session and time with me, so it's the perfect reading for you. If that sounds good to you, then head to my website, briarrosetarot.com, and book a time slot with me, and the link for that is in my description. So thank you so much for watching, guys. I am sending you so much love and light, and I will be back again very soon to give you another reading. I'm sending you all my love and big hugs, and I will see you next time. So take care, guys, and I will see you then. Bye. Hey, Pile 3, welcome to your reading. So you guys got the Eight of Swords, the Moon, the Five of Wands, the Ace of Cups, and the Princess of Swords. So with the Ace of Cups coming in, I feel like this could be someone that you're in a current connection with, or someone that likes you but is afraid to step forward. Someone that has you on their mind, but with the Eight of Swords, they really don't know how to proceed. I feel like this person has been doing a lot of overthinking, and it's almost like they want to reach out, they want to say something so bad, but they're afraid of messing it up. This could even be maybe someone that like you had a past connection with, or an old friend that you haven't talked to in a while. But I feel like this person has been thinking of you. You're on their mind, and it's definitely that wonder, like, wait, what do I say? How do I bridge this gap? How do I make this less awkward? Like, I don't want to say the wrong thing, and just being unsure of like how to proceed about that. The moon can indicate a lot of confusion, and I feel like this person has just been overthinking. You know, the Eight of Swords can be when we're in an energy of really overthinking and we just can't figure something out, and we just keep going over and over it in our mind. And I feel like this person is almost slightly intimidated by you with the Five of Wands coming in. They may feel like you are gonna, call them out, or you're gonna say like, wait, that was such a lame message or something. I feel like they let all these worst case scenarios kind of run through their mind, like all these scenarios about you, not being interested, or you telling them off, or them not being cool enough for you. And it's almost like they think you have way better things to do than talk to them. So I feel like in a way they've just chosen silence because that's easier. And it's almost like one of those things where the more time passes, or the more you aren't reaching out to them, they're not reaching out to you, the more they feel like, oh my God, like what is going on? I missed my chance. I missed my opportunity. Like it's going to be so awkward now if I say something. So I do feel like this person really likes you, but they're very intimidated by you, and they're kind of unsure of like, what do I say? How do I go about this? This person may not have the best riz, or just with you, they feel this intimidation. I feel like they do look up to you in a way. They may see you as the Princess of Cups, aka the Page of Cups, someone who's very charismatic, someone who's good with their words, someone who's creative and compassionate, and they may view you as someone who has a lot of other connections. Like you probably have a lot of friends, or you probably have a lot of romantic interest, people who are pursuing you. So why would you be thinking of them? And I do feel like it does go into that almost like low self-esteem vibe, or this vibe of where would I even fit in? How do I add value? I feel like this person feels so close to you, but then there's a part of them that also just assumes that you probably are that way with everyone because that's just who you are. Like you're just warm and welcoming and open and nice. And so it's like they don't want to be crazy. They don't want to be delusional and realize if they say like, hey, I really feel this connection, that you're like, okay, this is really awkward. Like, I'm sorry, I don't feel that way about you. And I feel like those kinds of worst case scenarios run through this person's mind a lot. So it's almost like better to be safe than sorry. But the more that time elapses, the more they feel like, have I even made the right choice? Like, it's almost like a procrastinating energy. They may tell themselves like, I'm going to text them tomorrow, or I'm going to do it later, or I'll reach out at this time. And then that time comes around and they still don't do it. And then they find themselves like beating themselves up at night being like, why haven't you texted them? And it's going to be weird now. It's been 2 weeks. Or why didn't you already ask for her number? Or why didn't you just send that text? And the more that time goes on, I feel like the more stuck they feel, the more stupid they feel, the more they feel embarrassed and lame. They may even beat themselves up of like, why are you thinking of this person so much? Why are they on your mind? And is there something wrong with me? Like, am I a simp? Am I just so lame because I have like this kind of fixation on this person and I keep thinking of them? And again, being very afraid that they're delusional, being very afraid that if they were to tell you, you'd be like, dude, like, I'm so sorry. I see you as a friend, or I don't see you in that way, or sorry, I have a packed social calendar. Like, I don't really have time for you. So I feel like they kind of keep themselves in the shadows, but like admire you from afar. And it definitely is something for them where like they want to be closer to you. They want to be able to hang out. They want to be able to text you and call you. But I feel like they don't see where they could add value to your life. They see you as someone who probably has so many different social opportunities, so many people who are probably blowing up your phone, trying to talk to you, trying to text you, trying to hang out with you. And they don't want to be like that lame who's just taking all your time and you're not really interested in the same way. So I feel like they just kind of keep themselves away from that. They also, like, I feel like they do see that you're a very compassionate, kind person. And the nice part of this is they don't want to be like a burden. They don't want to make you feel guilty or make you feel like you have to say yes or make you feel like, okay, this is just another person I kind of have to do this emotional labor for. So I feel like they kind of want to stay on the sidelines and not overburden you. They do want to protect you. That's coming through really strong. Like, I feel like in a way they may even worry about you, like hope that you're looking after yourself, hope that you're taking care of yourself. And I feel like they are very protective. This could be someone that you could like reach out to at the drop of a hat and they would probably like drop everything, come get you, come take care of you. If you're like, hey, I need you, or I'm stranded on the side of the road somewhere or whatever, I feel like they would go out of their way to try to fix something, figure something out. Like they would be speeding on the way there, trying to look after you. But I feel like they definitely don't want to overstep a boundary. Like there's a part of them that just understands that you're so sweet that you would be nice and kind to someone even if you weren't interested. So even if you tried to flirt, even if you tried to like show indications of interest or show them that you like them, I feel like they're definitely the type of person to overthink that or be like, okay, they were probably just trying to be nice. They probably didn't mean it. Like, I bet they're that way with everyone. They're just very friendly. And it's hard for them to kind of even really believe that you would be genuinely interested in them. They see you as someone that like you're nice to everyone. And in a way that kind of works against this. They love that about you. They respect that about you. But there's also a part of them that feels like, so this isn't really real. Like this is not them being super nice to me. This is just probably how they are with like their grandma, with random stranger on the street, random cashier. They're just that friendly person. And I feel like they just don't know where they stand. They also overthink all your interactions. The Eight of Swords is such a card of overthinking. So I feel like really when it comes down to your time with them, they don't trust it. They may feel amazing when they're talking to you, but then afterwards they kind of tell themselves, yeah, but like she also smiled at this person. And yeah, like, but she's never asked me out, or she may have said, hey, let's exchange Instagrams, but I don't know, she didn't like message me. I feel like this person does a lot of that overthinking. Again, they don't want to come off as creepy. It's almost like they don't want to ruin things. They don't want to blow things up. So they're just kind of like letting things be what they are and not taking action. And now I feel like as time goes on, it dawns on them that not taking action is action, and they have maybe messed things up in a way. Like if they had just gone in hot and just been like, hey, let's do this, I really like you, that you would be like, okay, I like you too. And they would have had a better chance and they would at least know. But now it's almost built up in their mind to like, oh my gosh, I really like this person. And now if they reject me, like I've had a crush on them for so long that now if they reject me, I'm really going to feel horrible. And it's almost like they don't want to ruin whatever place you do have in their life. They don't want to make things awkward. They don't want you to cut them off. So they'll kind of take whatever they can get from you. And if that's not romantic, if that's just a friend, then you know what? Whatever, because that's all they can kind of expect or accept from you. This could even be a friend that is thinking of you, but it's like they really want to be a lot closer to you. They want to be like a best friend. But again, I feel like they kind of are shy, scared, insecure. Like, I don't want to be rejected. I don't want pile number um, 3 to think I'm lame. I feel like they do see you as very booked and busy. Like, you have a lot of people wanting to be around you. You have a lot of people who like you. You have a lot of people who think of you as very fun and enjoyable to be around. So why would you want to hang out with them? You know, I feel like this person is very confused as to why you would even like them. Like, if they do feel a connection with you, if they do feel like you're flirting with them, they may just be so confused why I'd be like, what is happening? Like, you know, you could imagine if you had a big crush on a certain celebrity and then you saw them like out and about, you saw them out at a grocery store and suddenly they came up and started talking to you and asking you out, and you'd probably be like, is this a prank show? Like, what's happening? This is not real life, you know? And I feel like in a way, because this person really likes you so much, there's a part of them that just thinks they do put you up on a pedestal, and it's like, okay, they probably don't like me. They probably won't like me back. Let's get into some of these cards. So we got Angels of the 7 Chakras, Power, Truth, Connections. Okay. Let's see. Who is thinking of pile number 3? Archangel Haniel, Joy, Blessings, Intuition, Up from the Depths, Releasing Difficulty, and Past Life Guides, Karmic Lessons, Present Assistance. So this could also be someone you have a past life connection with, and I am getting a vibe for some of you guys, not everyone, and there's, you know, a few people in this pile. Of course, that's just how general readings work, so take what resonates, leave the rest. But I do feel like for those of you guys where this is an ex connection, there's a strong feeling that they feel connected to you on the astral plane. Um, they feel like they knew you as soon as they met you. They felt like this instant recognition of you. And I feel like their soul is still very protective of you. I feel like their soul still looks out for you. Like, if you're going through a hard time, you may dream of them. You may have them pop into your mind as you're freaking out about something and be like, wow, that's weird. Why am I thinking of this person? And I feel like in a way, they'll always have this protective side towards you because you guys may be in the same soul tribe. You may be very interlinked with that. It feels like even if you tried to cut them off, they are so protective. It's like they want to come back. They want to take care of you. They want to look after you. For those of you guys where this is more of an active new connection, wait, one thing that just came through really strong, I maybe this is the ex, maybe this is the new connection. I'm not sure who it's for, maybe both. But I'm hearing in my mind, I've never had such a strong connection with anyone else. And to me, the Ace of Cups is really being highlighted. The Ace of Cups can be like just, you know, of course, cups energy represents relationships. It represents emotional connection. It represents psychic intuition. So when you have that Ace of Cups moment, it can feel like a gift from God. For example, in Kabbalah with tarot, tarot represents, or excuse me, the aces represent the element of kether in Kabbalah, meaning like that divine moment connection with God. So, you know, the Ace of Swords can come that way intellectually, but with the cups, it's that way when it comes to a psychic download, a beautiful God ordained relationship that spirit brought into your life. You know, not just like, oh yeah, I dated this person, it was cool, we met on the apps, whatever, but like, oh my God, this feels like I was destined to meet you. This feels so special. This feels so different. I feel like I can open up to you. I feel like I can go deep with you. I feel like I can tell you things. And I feel like that is how this person feels about you. Like, they're always going to be fond of you. You know what I mean? No matter if you guys part, no matter if you guys aren't in contact, they are always going to be fond of you. They're always going to have this piece of their heart for you. And like I said, if you ever needed anything, if you were ever in trouble, if you were ever like really down bad about something or just in a horrible place, I feel like they would go out of their way to try to look out for you, to try to protect you, to try to take care of things. They do feel this kind of sense of ownership or protectiveness over you. Like, hey, listen, I got you no matter what. I can even see this being the kind of pile where if this was an ex, y'all could reunite even after like 50 years and it would be like no time had passed, you know? I also feel like they're saying you're living your own life. If this is an ex, the channeled message that's coming through is like, you're living your own life and I'm giving you the freedom to do that because I know you needed to learn certain things away from me. So if they haven't stepped forward and it is an ex, that could be what's going on, is they're kind of saying like, hey, listen, like you needed this on a soul level and I understand that. I feel like you guys have a deeper connection with each other because it's not just about, hey, I have so much fun with you. This is a very spiritual connection. This is something that goes much deeper. This is something that's karmic, past lifetime, soulmate vibes. So it's like they're not thinking about it of like, oh, just I hope we have a fun night out at the bowling alley. They're thinking about it of like, okay, our souls are growing, our souls are aligning. How can I support their soul growth? How can I help them in their journey? And that's something that really matters to them. Let me get into some of these cards for you. Pile number 3. We want to know who is thinking of pile 3. Lighten your load. Again, I feel like this person looks out for you, and a channeled message I'm getting from them is they don't want you putting yourself under so much pressure. They want you to know everything is going to be okay. This is just a channeled message coming through. Like if you've been stressing out about a certain situation lately, worrying about a certain situation, they want you to know you're going to be okay in the end, and they have your back 100%. So if you needed anything, they would be there for you. They send you strength on the astral plane, I feel. They look out for you. They wish the best for you, even though there may have been sadness at one point or bitterness if you guys did part. Again, if this is an active connection, that may not apply. Take what resonates, leave the rest. But if there was a parting or an ending and there was a lot of sadness or pain there, that may have been the case, but they always wanted well for you. They always wished the best for you. Let's see. And they would still be there if you needed them. That's a big thing. They would still take care of you. If this is someone you're in an active connection with, they may dream of like being able to provide for you, being able to look out for you. Protection. See, they want to protect you. What am I just saying? Wow. Okay. New beginnings. If this is a new connection, they see so much potential here and well-being. They're also, I'm channeling a message from them, they want you to rest. What I love about this energy is like they really, like I said, I keep saying it, but they want the best for you. And I feel like in so many relationships, I don't know, they can just be transactional, or someone wants something out of you. Like they want, you know, companionship, or they want you to be sexual for them, or they want you to, you know, do something for them. And it's very me based. It's very I based. And I feel like this person is really focusing on you. Like this is a higher level connection. And this is something that it feels like was very ordained. Like it was fated. It was orchestrated by the guides. They wanted you. You guys probably made a pact on the other side of like, we're definitely meeting up in this lifetime, whether it's for good, whether we end up married, or whether it's a one-time meeting. That's okay, but it is what it is. But if this is a new connection, I do feel like they definitely want it to last a long time. They view it as very, very special and something that means a lot to them. I also want to get into some astrodite. So let's see what the astrology has to say about this connection, or about this person who is thinking of pile number 3. So we got the sun, okay? So Leo energy, 5th house energy. Then we have the 3rd house, aka Gemini, aka Mercury. And then we have Aquarius, which is the 11th house, and it's ruled by Uranus. So we have Leo, we have the 3rd house, and then we have Aquarius energy. So with the sun is God energy. That's why so many cultures across the world worship the sun. The sun is a very powerful force for light, force for beauty in the world. And, you know, the sun, the role of the sun is to shine as brightly as possible, to be as authentic as possible, and to give light to everyone else. And I think that's the thing, and why this person is really urging you to like rest, look out for yourself, take care of yourself. I feel like their higher self is coming through to say, even if their lower self gets jealous, or even if their lower self gets intimidated, they really want you to be the highest, best vibration of yourself. I feel like in a way, I want to say this person is like your biggest fan. Like they just cheer you on so much. They want the best for you. They want to see you thrive. They want to see you do well. And they really want to make sure that if you're in another relationship, that relationship is treating you well. Again, if this is someone you're in an active connection with, you just met, or this is a new relationship, they may be saying like, this person is not good enough for you, or I do not like this person for you. Like, what are you doing with this person? If that person is not treating you like an actual queen or king, I feel like this person definitely has something negative to say about that. If there are other situations you're stressed about, I also feel like there's a message coming from this person that it's almost like they wished you would be more vulnerable, or they wished you would tell them what was going on in your life. They wish you would be willing to kind of let your guard down. I feel like there's this really strong sense of toughness that you give off, resilience, power, like I got this. I can handle it. I'm okay. Don't worry about me kind of vibes. And I feel like this person is saying, I am always going to worry about you. And they always want you to remember what a sweet soul you are, and that if someone isn't treating you that way or aligning you with that, that bothers them. Again, this person is so protective. Like, if they thought someone was treating you badly, they would want to like punch them, they would want to be like violent to them. They would want to like, woof, they would not be happy about that. They are definitely someone that, feels very strongly that you deserve to be treated so, so, so well. And I feel like they're saying that, truly. Oh, this is another thing. For anyone who's been in like a dysfunctional relationship or with someone who criticized you all the time, they are saying like, that person is crazy, because they literally see you as perfect. Like, you're just amazing in their eyes, and they're like, anyone who doesn't see you that way doesn't deserve your time, doesn't get you. But they're also saying you're very strong and resilient, and you'll be able to get through whatever this is. We also have the third house, Gemini. I feel like this person really wants to talk to you. The third house is communication. It's what we talk about. It's our conversation. And I feel like this person just isn't quite sure what to say. They see you as someone who's a master conversationalist, someone who's relentlessly curious, someone who always has interesting things to say and is very smart, very intelligent, very good with your words. Again, Gemini is ruled by Mercury, which is a very intelligent energy, also co-rules over, or it doesn't co-rule, just rules Virgo as well. And so Mercury placements, Geminis are really smart. They always have a million things they're thinking of. They have a million interests and topics and, different things that are going on in their life. And I do feel like this person is saying like, you're so smart. And maybe that's part of the intimidation, is like, they don't want to make a fool of themselves. They don't want to seem like a clown. They don't want you to look at them and be like, ooh, that was a really embarrassing thing to say. Or like, that text was really misspelled, or that's really cringe, because they see you as smarter than other people. And I feel like that's one of the reasons why they were just so excited to meet someone like you, because they rarely meet someone with your exact style, your exact energy. That was very special to them. The way I'm feeling like you guys can make them laugh, or there's something about your energy that they just find very funny, very charming, very dynamic. They like to be around it. With this Aquarius energy coming through as well, you may just march to the beat of your own drum and really do your own thing in a way that this person finds very intriguing and very interesting. I feel like you kind of keep them on your toes and keep everyone else on your toes as well. And you may also have that energy of not feeling like you want to follow the crowd, not feeling like you want to do what everyone else does. And you may also have a very interesting sense of style that this person loves. But again, it's almost like because they do see you as very cool, that makes them harder. It makes them have a harder time actually stepping forward and actually saying their interest in you, because they're like, hey, they probably have a million people interested in them, and I'm just not as cool as them. I don't know if I can fit in. I don't know if I can hang. So for those of you guys where it's an early connection, again, I feel like that's where the nerves start hitting this person. It's like, how would I add value to their life? Why would they want to hang out with me? In a way, and especially if this is like a friend, it's like they look up to you, or they see you as so cool that sometimes they're like, I'm not sure what to say to them, or I'm not sure why they would want to hang out with me. I'm not sure why they would want to be with me. Again, if this is someone that you parted with, I feel like they're very grateful for your time together. They feel like they learned so much about you, and they're acknowledging your bravery and the fact that you've always been willing to do your own thing. You've always been very unafraid and very stuck in your ways. You're not just going to stay in the safety zone, keep yourself small, and not make yourself uncomfortable. You're very like, I don't care if it's a risk. I don't care if it's scary. If there's something I want to do, I'm going to do it. And I feel like that's something for those of you guys who left this person in the past that may have bothered them at some time in the past. They may have felt like, wow, you abandoned me. There may have been a time when they were a little bit bitter, kind of like, how could you leave me to live your own life? And I feel like now that has morphed into this understanding that like, that's what they had to do. And again, that more selfish human view of it of like, but I want you, but you're supposed to be mine, but I want to be able to wake up next to you every day and whatever, has morphed into this understanding that you are on this beautiful spiritual journey. And a lot of you guys have really been alchemizing and growing and changing yourself. And I feel like that's so exciting to this person, wherever you are in this connection, whether it's a new one, whether this is an older one and there was a parting or whatever, what they're saying is, they're so proud of all the growth you've committed through. They're so proud of the growth you've done. And they're saying like, hey, listen, we're a team and I've still got your back. Even if there's times when you pushed me away on the astral plane, even if you've cut me off on the astral plane, I still support you. I still want the best for you. I still cheer you on and I'm your biggest cheerleader. And that's never going to change. I'm always going to be rooting for you from the sidelines. I'm always going to be like kind of lurking your social media and seeing all the things you're doing and just be super excited for you, because honestly, they are like a fan in a way. Like they want to see you do well. They want to see you alchemize. They still feel a little bit responsible for you. So no matter what, no matter when you met this person, whether you guys are still actively talking or you guys don't talk anymore, whatever, this is a new crush. This person is just so excited with you. They're so enthralled by you. They're such a fan of everything you're doing. And they're really excited to see where it goes next. Like they're saying they've never met anyone like you and they've never felt this level of connection before. And for them, it's just super, super exciting. So that is what I have for you. Pile number 3. I really hope that resonates, guys. If it resonated, please give this reading a like, hit the thumbs up button, subscribe, turn on notifications, leave a comment. That all really helps the channel. And if you want to see more of my readings, then head to my Patreon where I post all my additional readings. There are over 100 exclusive readings you'll only find on Patreon. And you also get early and ad-free access to all my YouTube videos. I just posted a reading all about your karma and also where you are in your spiritual karmic development, paying off whatever karmic debt, past life issues. So it's a very deep spiritual reading. But like I said, there's so much content to choose from over on Patreon. I can't even keep track because I post new readings all the time. And you also get to be the first to watch all my YouTube videos. So if that sounds good to you and you're interested in joining, then head to the link underneath the timestamps in the comments and the description and join me over on Patreon. Also, if you would like to book a private session with me, you can do that at my website, briarrosetarot.com. Whether you're looking for a quick half-hour reading, a full hour-length reading, whether you want it to be pre-recorded or live, whether you want it to be tarot, astrology, open channeling, a combination, you get to really customize your time with me. So it's the perfect session for you. If that sounds good to you and you're interested in signing up for a session with me, then head to my website, briarrosetarot.com. So thank you so much for watching, guys. I am sending you so much love and light, and I will see you again very, very soon for another reading. Take care, guys, and I'll see you then. Bye. Hey, Pile 4, welcome to your reading. So you guys got the Chariot, the Lady, aka the Empress, the Tower, the Prince of Pentacles, aka the Knight of Pentacles, and the Four of Cups. So what's coming through first is this person really admires you. I feel like they would want to be friends with you, or they would want to learn from you. It's almost coming through in more of a non-romantic way, although maybe it could be romantic for some of you guys. Take it as it resonates and leave the rest. But what's really coming through is just that this person thinks you're very cool, like very interesting, very smart. And it's almost like they look up to you, where they put you on a bit of a pedestal. I am feeling like for most of you guys, this is like a feminine energy. But of course it could be masculine. Take what resonates, leave the rest. But I do feel like this person wants to be friends, wants to reach out. They may kind of be worried about coming on too strong or saying something lame, or not be sure exactly what to say or how to go about it. But I do feel like they're really coming through as wanting to say something to you, wanting to reach out, wanting to hang out and be friends. And it's almost like they want to learn from you. I feel like this feminine really respects the way you live your life. Like they really almost put you up on a pedestal, or just think of you as someone that is really cool, like someone that they look at your life and they really admire how you run it. They look at your life and they really think of it as, gee, I like what they have going on, and like that's so interesting how they're living, and that's so interesting what what they're doing. Maybe even with your career, they may want to be in the same field as you, or just think your job is really cool. And I feel like this person is almost like they're afraid of giving away how much they admire you. You know, they kind of want to like play it cool and just seem blasé about it, but deep down inside, I do feel like they definitely think of you as someone that they want to learn from, someone that they admire, someone that they um, would like to like be close to, and may even copy you a little bit. I'm not gonna lie, this person could, you know, spend time lurking your Instagram or trying to see what you're wearing, or kind of trying to get tips from you or advice from you, because I do feel like that energy is just like, wow, pile number 4 is such a cool person. They're such a distinctive person. They're so brave and they're so interesting. And I also feel like this, you know, there's multiple energies coming through. For some of you guys, this pile 4 person could also have been through a similar event in life as you and want to kind of give you advice. With that Tower card, they may want to steer you away from certain things. But I feel like this person is just very impressed with your life trajectory, and it really does feel like on some level they're cheering you on, or they do want to see you succeed. Again, it is a general reading, so there's going to be multiple energies lumped into this. So some of them could, you know, come at it from that low vibrational place of some jealousy. It just depends on where they are in their path. But I feel like a lot of them, it's almost like they see this possibility in you that's like this missed path that they didn't take, or this power and potential that you have that I feel like they find so exciting and really cool. Like they look at what you're doing and I feel like they just see, wow, what a cool person, what a dynamic person. And Pile 4 has so much going on, and Pile 4 has all this potential, or they could achieve this, this, this. And I feel like that really gets them excited. You know, it's almost like they want to watch what you're doing, or they're your biggest fan. And I feel like they definitely wish they could be closer to you, or they want to be more in your life. Again, for some of you guys, you may have to worry about a little jealousy, or about this person sometimes copying you, or if you let them in, that like sometimes they overstep boundaries or whatever, but it's really coming through with massive admiration. I could see this even being people who are respecting you professionally, like in your career. You may not realize that you have, I want to say it feels like fan energy, like a fan base. Like maybe you write, I don't know, fan fiction or something, and you publish it online, and you actually have like a community that you don't even realize, but they're so into your writing, you don't even know how much they like it. Or maybe this is at your office, you speak with clients and stuff, and these clients just see so much potential in you, and they just talk and interact with you and think like, wow, this person is going places, because I feel like they just see this huge success. We got the Lady, aka the Empress, the Chariot. Those cards combined can really talk about going places and being very powerful and forceful. And I feel like there are people around you that just see you as someone that you could do whatever you wanted. You know, you could accomplish any kind of dream, and it kind of inspires people. It inspires this person a lot. And maybe for some of them, again, if they're older than you, or they've already been through a similar situation, they may actually be coming through to want to give you guidance, or to want to steer you away from a certain path. And if they're younger than you, I feel like this person could be coming in to kind of learn from you. So there's definitely that parent teacher, or not parent teacher, parent child, student teacher dynamic going on a little bit here, where one person is wanting to learn from the other, or wanting to teach the other. And I feel like a lot of it does come across well intentioned. But of course, whenever there's a power dynamic, there's always the possibility of some jealousy. So just something to be aware of. Let's get into some of these cards for you. Pile number 4. So who is thinking of pile 4, Spirit? Who is thinking of pile 4? So we got compassion, transformation. You may really inspire this person to transform. Like after you interact with them, you may have found that they've completely changed their own aesthetic, how they dress, how they present to the world, or they even change like the language they use, the words they use, how they speak, their interests, their hobbies. I feel like there's something about you that is so inspiring to them, so exciting and invigorating. And again, it depends because someone's going through a transformation here. It could also be you, and this person is coming in as a bit of a guide to like steer you in the right direction, steer you away from a certain thing. But I feel like a lot of the energy is maybe a younger person that actually does want to learn from you, or actually does feel like, wow, I just see that they're going through something. I see that they're transforming. And there's an energy of them being really impressed by your bravery, like the choices you've made. They see it as very brave, or they see it as very exciting. They see that you have not compromised, or you haven't been afraid to be unique. And I feel like for some of these people, it inspires them to be really bold in a way they haven't. If there was something they were afraid of doing, if there was something that, maybe they wanted, but they weren't sure of how they were going to accomplish it, I feel like your boldness and your strength has made them start thinking, maybe I can do this. Maybe this is a possibility for me. And it's almost like it's taken the chains off for them. They've started to consider other possibilities that maybe in the past they just didn't think that could work for them. They didn't think they would be able to do that, but seeing you do it makes them wonder if they could. So sometimes, like I said, this energy I could see it being irritating at times for you, where maybe you're like, oh my God, are you copying me? Or you're coming on way too strong. Or just like get your own sense of style, or get your own way of talking and leave me alone, because sometimes I feel like it could feel a little bit like, did you seriously buy the exact same pair of shoes as me? Or did you seriously style your hair the same way as me? Exactly. Or, are you really like, it could even bleed into this territory of like, okay, I told you I had a crush on this guy. Now you're trying to talk to him. Like, this is weird, because it could be a little bit, if this person doesn't have boundaries, I feel like they just have so much enthusiasm for you. They're so excited to talk to you that sometimes it could be a little over the top. It could also be very positive. Again, it is a general reading, so you want to be taking what resonates and dropping everything else. But I feel like this person, it's almost like they have to tamp down their enthusiasm because they don't want to come across too strong, and they do want the best for you, deep down inside. I think they do think what you're doing is really, really cool. Let's get into some more cards for you. Pile number 4. So who is thinking of pile 4? Okay, so we got new beginnings and protection. So like I said, if you're the one going through this transformation, through this new beginning, this person could have actually come in as a bit of a guide to actually help protect you, especially if they have been through something similar. Especially if they have life experience in this arena. This could be, like I said, I'm getting kind of like multiple people in this group lumped together. And one is younger and maybe more prone to jealousy or admiration or copying you. The other actually feels older, but they've been through it. It's almost like the younger person hasn't been through it and they're just so excited. And the older person has been through it and they see the pitfalls. They see what could go wrong. I feel like the older person is even more supportive. Like they are really, really your biggest fan. They really are excited to see what you do. And they're very aware of how things could go wrong. I feel like they see that you're on a valuable path and they just want to make sure that you achieve your success, that you don't make any mistakes. And they really do want to give you some kind of guidance. They really do want to look out for you. So if this older person starts giving you some wisdom, starts making comments about like, oh, and by the way, make sure you do it this way. I feel like for some of you guys, this person could have been divinely guided to come into your life to like guide you away from a certain mistake, or to help you to be on the right path, or to like just usher you in the right direction, because I do feel like your guides don't want you screwing up or doing something, that could make you unhappy in the future. So they may have aligned you to meet this person so that you will be steered away from like those rocks on the shore, so to speak. You know, they want you getting through a safe passage, smooth, easy, clear, and calm. And I feel like they have kind of aligned it so that if you are going through something and you're really worried, you may meet this woman or this older man and they're like, oh my God, I've been through that. I've been through that exact same thing, and make sure you do this and make sure you sign up for that and blah, blah, blah. And I feel like all of that is going to be really valuable advice. Or on the other side, you could be that person who's giving guidance for the younger person. And if you're doing that, just know that there is some immaturity with this younger person. So it depends on what energy really resonates with you. But if it is with a younger energy, just know that immature energy, they could sometimes, like a kid, not really realize the effects of their actions. And sometimes if they are feeling jealous or competitive, or they're kind of like, okay, well, you had your time, now I'm going to have my time. And sometimes it could feel a little like overly competitive, or like they're coming on too strong, or like they're trying to ride your coattails, or they're trying to compete with you. And it could be very frustrating. I feel like that's not this person's intentions. I don't feel like they're trying to do that, but I feel like it's just, they have so much enthusiasm and they kind of like don't realize. So I would say just tread lightly if you are resonating as the older person in this connection, because the younger person may just not know what they're doing. And sometimes they may come across too strong or not have the right boundaries, or sometimes that admiration can always bleed into like a little envy, and it's just something to be aware of. Let's get into these cards for you, pile 4. Who is thinking of pile number 4? Who is thinking of pile number 4? So we got balance, centered energy, self-care, journey guide, travel, change, and location. This person, again, the older energy definitely came in as a journey guide. I feel like whoever this person is, whether they're older or younger, whether they've been through it or they haven't, I feel like you guys are definitely aligned to help each other on this same mission, because you guys have some kind of similar values, similar shared resonance, similar thing that you're going through or you're interested in. And there's also a message of this person also coming in to remind you of personal boundaries, and also just to prioritize yourself with this self-care card coming out. So I feel like they are coming in a way to kind of push you into this realm of looking out for yourself and really thinking critically about things. And almost, if some of you guys lack boundaries, then the younger energy may step in to try to get you to get some boundaries. If you already do have good boundaries, this older energy may come in to help kind of solidify that and get you to put up boundaries with other people, get you to look out for yourself and really put yourself in the driver's seat or in the center stage, and not put yourself on the back seat for anyone else. That's very important. And I feel like it's almost like this person is coming in as a reminder of realizing how special you are, and realizing kind of what you want in life, and making sure that you're not bogged down by anything that isn't going to serve you long term. So they're coming in to kind of like change that and push you into the direction of really being clear, really being deliberate with the steps you take in your life. Because it's almost like that message coming through is like, you don't realize how special your energy is. And if you're not careful of it, if you're not protective of it, you could give it away to the wrong person. You could just not really look out for it. And just like, if you have a bunch of money, but you don't know what that money is worth, and you were just like, oh yeah, these are just random pieces of paper, and you end up giving away thousands of dollars to like random people being like, oh yeah, you really want this? Sure, I have this $100 bill too. Like, hypothetically speaking, say you didn't know what money was worth, you didn't know that it had any value, and you just started like thinking it was green pieces of paper and throwing it around. You would end up probably afterwards, when you figured it out, being like, oh, that was kind of a mistake. And I feel like by the same token, this message is, be careful with your energy and make sure you're not just throwing it to any old person. And either this person is coming in as a lesson to teach you that boundary, being like, hey, you knew this person was coming on a little too strong. Your gut was telling you something with this person and you didn't listen. Or this person is coming in directly to warn you about someone else. Or I feel like there's an energy of the older energy can see more of the pitfalls that you can. It's almost like I'm seeing someone standing on a hill and they can see out at the landscape. They can see like the valleys and the peaks and the hills and the mountains and the streams, and they can see more things than you're aware of. Or you might be that person for the younger person, and you're kind of giving them guidance, but sometimes they don't appreciate it. They take it for granted. I feel like in a way, this could even be, it may not be related to age, but I just feel like for some of you guys, you're very energetically mature. You have, like I said, so much potential. And no matter what group you're in, people can see that about you. And this is just about making sure that you're treating that valuably. You're not just giving it away to any old person, you know? Let's see. Who is thinking of pile number 4? So we got your eternal spirit, higher self, sacred intuition, Archangel Zadkiel, self-acceptance, compassion, forgiveness. I feel like another thing that this connection is teaching you is to really trust your intuition, really trust the vibes, really trust the energy. And like I said, I think so much of this is about self-valuation, valuing yourself, not just giving away your energy willy-nilly to any person who wants it, but really being intentional about that, really being aware of how someone makes you feel. And so either way, this person is coming in with like a lot of fan energy. And again, I feel like sometimes that can be positive because it almost can remind us if we're feeling really mundane, if we're feeling like kind of, you know, not our best, then that person can come in and shine a spotlight and be like, no, actually what you're doing is freaking amazing. And I'm so excited for you. And that's really cool. And I feel like in a way, this person may also be aligned to come into your path just to encourage you to continue and to make you see all this incredible potential that you do have, that you're not some kind of like, I don't know, I don't want to say failure, but that really the sky is the limit, because it's even more dramatic than like, oh, you're not a failure. It's actually like you have the potential to do so much, to be such a success, to just transform yourself, to transform your life, to transform other things around you, even the world. And I feel like this person is being pushed into your life to really force you into your destiny and make you take your power back, make you see yourself through someone else's eyes. So you realize like, oh, I really do have that level of magic. I really am that special, because maybe somewhere along the way you lost that. So no matter how this person is approaching you, even if it is with a tinge of jealousy, I feel like you're still going to feel that energy of like, yeah, so I really am that cool. I really am that special. And most of them I do feel like are genuinely supportive, even if sometimes they express it in a way that could be a little janky or just not the best. Maybe like coming on too strong or texting too much, or you may be like, wow, you kind of stepped over a boundary. But I feel like, again, the overall message is like, you kind of know they do have your back and that they do like you. They do see this in you. Let's get into some astrology, guys. Pile number 4. So we got Cancer, and Cancer also rules the Chariot, so that's interesting. Capricorn and Saturn. Okay, so we have double Capricorn. Let me spin this one more time. Okay, and this one is the 3rd house, Gemini. So it's interesting because Gemini is ruled by Mercury, and Mercury is an extremely intelligent card, or extremely intelligent energy. Mercury sees everything that's going on and kind of processes information really quickly. And Gemini loves to talk. So this person may really enjoy talking to you. They may also be a talker themselves. I feel like they really want to connect with you and get you to open up. They may use conversation as their primary way of doing that. Like they may sometimes probe too much or ask you too many questions or tell you too many stories where you're like, okay, like we've been talking nonstop for like hours and I need to work, or wow, like you've been telling me a lot of information and this is a little overwhelming. But again, I feel like that's their way of connecting with you, and they really have this need to kind of share knowledge with you and to kind of hear what you think and also tell you their opinions of things. I feel like this person, it's almost like even if they are younger, their judgment is dead on, because even if they are younger than you, you, they're able to see things very clearly in terms of your value. So even if they are, not older and wiser, in a way, they're seeing things so clearly with their fan energy. The fact that they have so much enthusiasm for you is exactly right. And they're kind of that like energy that may snap you back into reality and away from situations in which you have been accepting less than you deserve. We also got Saturn. Saturn again rules Capricorn, the 10th house, and Saturn is a planet of hardship and difficult lessons. So again, I feel like this person is coming in to either help you to not quite have to go through like a full Saturn tower moment, and some kind of real difficulty. Of course, we still have to learn lessons, and Saturn is amazing for that, but they may be coming in to help soften that blow and steer you away from certain choices or people that aren't treating you with respect. I feel like in a way, because this person like puts you in such high regard and they treat you with such respect and they have you up on such a pedestal, it's almost a reminder of like, this is how I deserve to be treated. I deserve this. I don't deserve to be talked down to. I don't deserve to be looked down on or anything like that. Or I don't deserve to have a job that makes me miserable. I don't deserve to be like completely alone on a Friday night. Like this could be that friend that just gasses you up and says like, "Oh my God, girl, you look amazing. That outfit is so cute." Or "I love your hair. Like you have the prettiest eyes." So if you have been kind of neglecting yourself or not feeling yourself, this friend could come in to just like snap you back into reality and make you see yourself clearly and be like, "You know what? I do look really good. Maybe I am going to get out of my sweatpants and go out." Or, "I don't deserve to be spoken to that way by the boss. I am a really good salesperson. Let me find a new job." Or, "This relationship has been draining me, so I'm going to break up with my boyfriend and I'm going to find someone who doesn't drain me." Either way, I feel like they are trying to help you avoid some kind of Saturn hard lesson and kind of keep your spirits up. They are coming in with a very mothering energy, regardless of their age. We did get Cancer. Cancer is the mother of the zodiac, and we do have the Chariot coming in, which is ruled by Cancer. So that is a super strong energy of wanting to look out for you, wanting to take care of you. I feel like they kind of feel motherly and protective of you. It's like they have this maternal instinct. They see your power and your potential, but they also see your vulnerability. And I feel like they also see you as just so special. And it's almost like if someone doesn't appreciate you or can't treat you with the respect you deserve, this person is just going to shine a spotlight on that. You're going to feel that difference in energy between how this person views you, how they look at you, and the love and respect they have for you versus anyone else in your life who's not giving you that. Any situation in life, any career, any whatever the situation may be, any friendship that isn't treating you with full respect or isn't like super excited and honored to be around you and get to spend time with you, you're going to start feeling that like sharp cognitive dissonance and kind of feeling of coming back down to earth whenever you go from talking to this person to talking to like the toxic coworkers or the toxic boyfriend or whatever. You're going to really be like, I don't know how long I can keep up with this, because like that energy felt so good and I felt so supported and loved in that situation. I felt so protected and I felt so happy and aligned and so much lighter. And now when I'm with this person, it just doesn't feel the same. So yeah, I feel like this is actually a very beautiful energy that's thinking of you. They're excited for you. They don't want to scare you off by coming on too strong, but they definitely see all this potential in you and they want to be close to you. They want to really connect with you on a deep level and know you really well, and vice versa. So it's a really beautiful thing. And yeah, I feel like this is someone that may have been divinely guided into your life, aligned by maybe your spirit guides, your team on the other side. And they could really help you to make valuable choices or to see what resonates in you with that energy of happiness, joy, and full support and love from a friend versus anyone who's not treating you that way. So that is what I have for you, pile number 4. I really hope that resonates. If you want to see more of my content, then be sure to check out my Patreon where I post all my additional readings. There are over 100 exclusive readings you'll only find on Patreon, and you also get early and ad-free access to all my YouTube videos. Oh, and by the way, it really helps this channel if you like, subscribe, turn on notifications, leave a comment. I'm always super grateful for that. And back on Patreon, I just posted a reading all about the karma you have and how you're working through that from past lifetimes, your progress spiritually with taking care of that, where you are in that trajectory. But there are so many different readings to choose from over on Patreon. Like I said, over 100. And you also get to be the first to view all my YouTube videos. They always get posted over there first. So if that sounds good to you and you're interested in joining, then head to my website, briarrosetarot.com. Also, if you would like to book a private session with me, you can do that at my website, briarrosetarot.com, whether you're looking for a quick half-hour reading, a full hour-length reading, whether you want it to be a tarot reading, astrology session, a combination of both, whether you would like it to be pre-recorded or live, you get to really make sure that it's the exact right session that you want for yourself. So if that sounds good to you, then head to my website, and the link for that is in my description. So yeah, just head to that little link. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I am sending you so much love and light, and I will see you again very, very soon for another reading. Take care, guys. Bye.